You do not get rid of the sadness to create happiness. You create happiness despite the sadness. I went to Catholic school, and to be honest, I went for middle school, so it was kind of torture. Just because middle school is torture in general. You guys leave a lot of comments talking about how I'm so consistent and how I'm so focused, and to be real, I get a lot of that from Catholic school. Catholic school really taught me how to show up as my best self, but the other side of that is that I always showed up as my best self in school because it was fear-based. It was based on not wanting to disappoint my teachers, not wanting to disappoint my principal, not wanting to disappoint God. And the more I grow up, the more I realize that I have to continue unlearning this idea that I'm going to face punishment if I don't live up to another person's expectations. The more that I separate myself from the expectations of others and the expectations of the world, the more that I can clearly see what I expect for myself and what I want to dedicate my energy and my focus to. But I'm not really sure if it's possible to do both things at the same time. I don't know if it's possible to consistently study how you can please humans and to consistently study how you can please yourself. I think Catholic school even taught me that there's a little bit of shame in focusing on how to please yourself in more ways than one. Wanky. Catholic school taught me that we should always keep our eyes on God, but what my specific school, I'm not going to speak for all Catholic schools, but what my specific school made me feel was that I can't hear God. I have to go through humans to hear God. Therefore, if I'm disappointing the humans, I'm disappointing God. And then it becomes impossible because if you have 8 different teachers, you have 8 different belief systems and have to figure out 8 different ways to please these 8 different people. And within all of that, it's like, where do you find the time and the space to grow into the person that God truly wants you to be? If you're trying to please everybody, please all of these people, how can you even have the internal space to evolve into your truth? It's more like we're being programmed to keep others happy versus becoming our true selves. Now, whether you went to Catholic school or whether you were homeschooled or whether you went to public school or private school, it doesn't matter where you went. We all go through phases of learning how to please the people around us because it's survival. It's what we learn to do. But so much life starts to happen when we begin to mature out of that phase and focus on, okay, what did I learn from all of that? And who am I now? And how can I pour into and develop this person that I am now? And that's what today's vlog is going to be about, learning how to reject the energies and the emotions of others so that you can better understand how to pour into and focus on the energy within yourself so that it can be nurtured and so that it can grow and so that you can feel fulfilled and whole within yourself. Okay, let's get to the vlog.
You see those over there? Over there, see? You see those ones? No, not those blocks. Over there? Over there? See those? Yeah, look. Inside. See? Is this a square?
Welcome to today's vlog. My glasses are so dirty. Welcome to today's vlog. I have to handle my glasses 1 second.
I got it. You go ahead and talk.
Because he knows if I clean them, they won't get cleaned. But anyway, moving on. So we don't have a lot to do today, or maybe we do. I don't know. It doesn't feel like a lot, but I have a bad habit of like thinking my lists are gonna take 5 minutes and they take all day. So first we're gonna go to the car wash. Then we're gonna take Libby Lou to the park. Then all we gotta do is go to Target to pick up some things for the house. And finally, a succulent for that pot. That's not too much.
The seed pot, the little...
The seed the good?
Seed the good.
Seed the good. It says seed the good?
Like instead of see the good, seed the good?
It says seed the good?
I thought it did. Something like really pun like. I thought it did. Please.
I've had this pot for 6 months.
No, I definitely did. No, be sure.
Okay. No, it says see the good.
See the good.
Okay. You made the pun up in your mind.
I did. Oh man.
I was like, am I really like not that present? I've looked at this pot every day and it says seed the good and it says see the good. But no, it just says see the good. So we're going to buy a succulent for that pot. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Olivia's just in the back being perfect. Being perfect. Oh, we're moving. You know she says happy birthday to everyone now?
Oh, she does? Oh yeah, AJ used to do it. Happy birthday! Oh, yeah, okay. It's not my birthday.
Oh, sweet kiddos.
Car wash.
Yes. Or pull into the wash bay. What would you like, sweet girl? Do you want to go walk? See, the thing is, we are not capable of controlling other people's emotions, but a lot of our behavior and a lot of our actions as a society function as if we are. So I think that when you go throughout your day, it's so important to check in with yourself, because I think a lot of our subconscious triggers come from other people and how we perceive them to be feeling. So we psychoanalyze others, all of this subconsciously. It's not at the surface, it's like under the layers, but we subconsciously analyze the behaviors of others, and then we think to ourselves, did I do anything to cause that? If they feel this way, is there anything I can do to change that? And all of that mental drama is a distraction from what we actually have going on psychologically. I think that a lot of the times we forget that our journeys take all of our energy, our journeys take all of us. And when we focus on what other people have going on emotionally, not only is that a safe space, because we're looking at someone else's problems versus our own, but we're also stunting our own growth when we constantly are trying to tap into the feelings of others. And there's nothing wrong with being empathetic, and we are all naturally empaths, so it's a balance. But at the same time, maturing and becoming an adult is unlearning pleasing your parents, because I think that's where it starts, that's where it forms. As children, we learn to, or as children, our brain responds to when our parents smile and when our parents hug us, and when we get fed, our brain responds to that and sees that as safety. So we continue to do the things that our parents like so that we can continue to survive, and that is great. Like, let's be babies, let's do that. But as we grow up out of being toddlers and infants and children into adults, I'm learning as I'm getting older that it takes actively unlearning that childlike mentality that we must perform or act in ways that will make other people more comfortable and happy. When you learn to create this energetic barrier between your own emotions and the emotions of others, that is true freedom. Because everyone's always going to have their own story, everyone's always going to have their own path, but when you really learn to identify what belongs to you and what doesn't, one, you avoid a lot of drama, but two, you become a person who does have more space for others when they do need a shoulder to lean on. I don't see my family anymore. I'm gonna go look for them. Still haven't found my family. Should I be worried? I think I might hear my daughter. Alright. This is what I get for listening to my husband, because I told him that the trail ended, and he's like, no, the trail keeps going. There is no trail on this earth. There's no trail on the ground, just leaves. I told him that it ended. What is happening? At least it's daytime. I just don't understand how I can't see them. I don't want to yell. I don't want to yell to find them, because then he's gonna laugh at me. Oh, that's the fattest squirrel I've ever seen. You ready to go? Ready to go to Target?
She's obsessed with that basket.
I see.
On the edge, like the corner of our roof. Above the kids' room.
And then they got popular. See them everywhere. I'm glad I can get them for a lot cheaper now.
How many beds do you have?
Try not to drink too many monsters. That's not real addiction.
You need a little bag for it?
That
That would actually be great. Yeah.
Perfect.
I just got my plant. I love that place so much. Every time I come, I'm just like, I need everyone's numbers. I want to be friends with all of you. You're all so nice. I went into the nursery and I didn't bring my camera because I was just like, I don't feel like people looking at me with this camera. I just don't have the energy for it. I felt that way, and then I realized that is me taking on other people's emotions. I know sometimes when people see me with my camera, they stare, but like no one has ever said anything nasty. But I just know that a lot of people see like social media and documenting things as like vain and shallow. So I feel like I project that onto times where people are like staring at me, and then I think, okay, if they feel that way, now I feel insecure. And then I was just like, no, I want this footage. I want to document this. The whole reason I made a vlog is so that I can show you guys my real life, and so that I can like look back authentically on my life, you know? So I picked my camera up and I took it. And it was cute in there, wasn't it? Okay, back home. So I think that my experience in the plant store was actually a perfect example of how the emotions and even the perceived emotions of others is literally just a distraction from our journey. You guys know that I'm on this mission to vlog for 1 year. And if I begin to tell myself, oh, I'm not going to film here because I don't want people to see me, or I'm not going to film on this day because I don't want my friends to know that I'm doing this. If I start to allow other people to impact my decisions, I don't know if I'm going to make it to that year mark, you know? And what if vlogging for a year is a part of my divine path? My whole point with this is that at times when we take on the emotions of others and we make ourselves responsible for how other people feel, we lose ourselves in that. And then we end up distracting ourselves from our own journey. And when that happens, then what I think a lot of people don't understand is that walking your path takes all your energy. Walking your path does not just take a little bit of your energy. It doesn't just take a fraction. It takes all of you. It takes every bit of you. And really learning where you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to be showing up on a daily basis takes all of our attention. And when you're walking on your path, you begin to understand the behaviors and the energies that you want to lean into, right? And the more you lean into those behaviors and the more you lean into those energies, you better understand how to walk your path. So what I'm saying is when we get so caught up in the emotions and the feelings of others, we stop leaning into what we need and we back out of what we need. And instead of leaning into what we need, we start leaning into what other people need. And as I said a few moments ago, our path takes all of our effort, every bit of it. I am currently making my Shea Butter Moisturizer because I ran out a couple of days ago. And I thought about waiting a couple of days to make it, like not rushing, but I envisioned this bath for myself tonight. And that moisturizer, the one I'm making, is just a part of it. So hopefully I put the ingredients and the measurements on the screen so that if you guys want to make it for yourself too, you can do that. But I'm not sure I understand. Siri, I did not ask for you, girl. Mind your business. All right, we got to talk about something that's a little hard, but I think you're ready to hear it. I think that you're grown up enough. Sometimes we reject our own happiness and our own expansion because other people around us are miserable. And that is a hard thing to realize, that you may be sacrificing your own growth because you are attached to the emotional state of others. Sometimes we can feel really guilty for focusing on ourselves and focusing on our own path. And it's even harder when the people who are in that dark place are people that you love very dearly, because I think to an extent, we all know we're allowed to be happy, but to an extent. And what I challenge you to ask yourself is, am I challenging? Am I challenging the level of happiness that I expect for myself? Am I challenging it? Am I willing to push further ahead than my expectation? Because a lot of times our happiness spectrum is dependent on the people who are around us. And what I'm telling you is that that means that you are too dependent on what they have going on. And that's just another way that we take on the emotions of others and allow the energetic business of others to impact our business. And this is something that is just so unconscious. We will say to ourselves, I'm not limiting my happiness. I'm happy. I'm as happy as I could possibly be. We'll say that, right? If I ask you, well, can you be happier? Let's look at the spectrum of reality. There is no end to how happy we can be, and there is no end to how miserable we can be. So I'm asking you, you're happy now. Can you be happier? Are you willing to continue on the journey of expansions to deepen your perspective and understanding of happiness? Is that something you're willing to do? And if it's something that scares you, or if it's something that you're not automatically inclined to do, because who doesn't want more happiness? So if you hear find more joy and you're like, no, there's something there, right? So if I say, can you be happier? Can you be more joyful? Can you have more peace? Can you find more fulfillment? Can you do more? And you're holding back, I would ask you about, this saying was all over the internet for like 10 years, but the 5 people that you're closest to are a reflection of yourself. So I would ask yourself, if you have difficulty seeing yourself as a more fulfilled, more joyous person, ask yourself about the 5 people you're closest to and their levels of happiness. And then ask yourself if you make emotional decisions based on the people that you're going to be interacting with, because that's human nature and you shouldn't beat yourself up if you do. What I'm trying to gift you is awareness around it, because I don't care if you limit your happiness as long as it's as long as it's your choice. That's what I'm saying. Now here's the good news. If you realize, hey, I am limiting myself, I am limiting what I believe to be possible, and I am ready to push forward, and you find yourself taking the opportunities to raise your vibration more, dancing for no reason, singing for no reason, watching television shows just because they make you happy, going on walks, just doing things simply to be happy. If you find yourself doing that and then you feel guilty, life's not supposed to be this easy. Life can't feel this good. Am I worthy of this? I can't be worthy of this because the people around me don't feel like they're worthy, you know? Like all that stuff can come up when you actually challenge your own happiness and try to take it a step further. So if that happens for you, I do have good news. My favorite saying since seeing the movie is everything is everywhere all at once. And what I took away from that movie, one of the biggest things I took away from that movie was that our joy can, if you've seen the movie, you know I'm smiling, our joy can exist in the same dimension as our sadness, our despair, and our hopelessness. Our joy can exist in the same place. Our sadness can exist within us, and we can still experience wicked, crazy, wonderful happiness and joy. They exist at the same time. Just because you see a happy person doesn't mean that they don't have a deep sadness or a deep fear or a deep shadow emotion within them, right? This life journey is learning how to balance the different energies within us and choose the energies that we want to focus on. If you feel guilt for pursuing your happiness based on the people that you are surrounded with, you have to remind yourself that the only way to encourage and hold space for those people is to pursue your own happiness. And you being miserable is not going to make them any happier. The positive exists with the negative. The yin exists with the yang. Everything coexists. You do not get rid of the sadness to create happiness. You create happiness despite the sadness. So pushing your happiness away for other people never works. The best thing you can do to serve those around you is to pursue your own joy, your own expansion, and the journey of raising your vibration. Welcome to my home studio. If you've been checking out the online classes, you're starting to get really acquainted with this room. Yeah, we have one coming up this Friday. We're gonna do a little bit more of a flow, more heat building this next yoga class. I was thinking about going to yoga tonight, but I just wanna have a relationship and I just wanna have relations with myself tonight. But I want to just be in my practice tonight. I want to make myself sweat. I want to listen to my body, hear what my body needs, and then give it to my body. So I'm about to have a really good time on my mat. My last point for this vlog was that social media is big surprise, right? Social media is rewiring our minds to prioritize the thoughts of others over our own thoughts. Literally, every time we open the app, every time we scroll, we are wiring our mind to care more about people we know less. And even worse, whenever we get likes, whenever we get shares, we get little dopamine hits that communicate to our brain that I'm more worthy, I'm more special because they liked my stuff. So when you get caught up in that type of thinking, it can be very difficult to separate yourself from the emotions of others when your sense of worthiness is so dependent on the emotions of others. So I'm not telling you to get off social media. I'm not telling you to use it less. I'm just telling you to be aware. And it's so much of law of attraction is about tapping into your thoughts and not passively, actively listening to what's going on in your mind. And I'm telling you, when I listen to what's going on in my mind when I'm scrolling on Instagram, the majority of the time I do not like it. I'm not a fan, but I love the people on my Instagram, which is why I have not deleted the app yet, because I'm connected to so many of you on there and y'all are cool and you have cool lives. So we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going with Instagram. But I just wanted to give you guys that little reminder that social media literally programs our mind to care what other people think. And the only way to raise your vibration in an independent way is to have a good hold on your own energy and to separate your energy from others. So I hope that this video has given you enough information to help you feel like you know how to separate your own energetic vibration from those who you may be around physically or virtually. Is it time for good night kisses? It is! Like, good night. Good night. Good night, I love you.
I love you too.
Are you doing yoga? Watch your neck, watch your neck. I love you. Come on, time for bed. All right. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and practice and I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for spending today with me and yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.